What is up, everybody? It is Wednesday. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man, and we are just hitting the airwaves of Sirius XM channel 159 on SportsGrid Radio, just hitting all of the streams, whether you're on Roku or Amazon Prime, Samsung TV, sportsgrid.com, the SportsGrid app, wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, and all the great friends and all the chatlins that are in our live YouTube chat right now, whether you're coming from Facebook or Twitter or you're just on YouTube. We're glad to have everybody here. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. This is Kaplan and Crew. Grande, Brown Man, I got to be honest with you guys. I've never had more fun watching baseball than I'm having this second half of the season in watching the National League West. Last night, I was at a restaurant with my girlfriend. I had the Padre game on this TV, and don't get offended, Padre fans, but I had the Dodgers on this TV, and I was watching Jurickson Profar hit this ridiculous home run, which led the Padres to a comeback victory. And then I watched Jason Hayward hit a bomb in the 8th inning for the Dodgers to see them protect Walker Buehler and win that game. And even though I'm following what's going on with Arizona, I can't tell you that I'm legitimately watching their games. I'm just sort of following their games. And I've never seen 3 teams at the same time be more on fire than the Dodgers, who now have the best record in baseball, the Padres, who I actually love this team. I hated this team last year. I love this team this year because these guys got heart. They got fight. When you're down 2 runs in the 8th inning, you still believe that is not insurmountable. They can win this game. And so between the Dodgers with the best record, the Padres who are on fire, the Diamondbacks who refuse to cool off, this is the most fun I've ever had watching a race in Major League Baseball. Grande, Brown Man, what's good? How we living, fellas?
Living large, living just like you, my friend. Sitting here pretty much all night. Wife was out, and I'm sitting here all night. I'm tuned into Padres TV. I'm tuned into MLB Network, and I'm following along just like you, man. I think every game is becoming not life or death. It's not 2 months ago. But what's coming now is every game is just becoming more and more important because, September's around the corner. And it's just, every time the Padres go down, specifically the Padres, and I know Dodger fans probably feel the same way. If they go down, I'm like, well, so what? So what? They'll figure it out, or they won't be out of it. You know what I mean? Like, this is just one of those weird feelings that I've never experienced as a baseball fan, to watch a team continuously go down late in a game and continuously come back and either win or make it close. It's been incredible.
They're clutch. They're clutch. They got a lot of clutch guys. They got a lot of guys who've been doubted. So they've got a lot of guys who've been down. Profar, for example. So when he gets up there, he always believes that he can make something happen. And that's been key on this roster since day one, it really feels like. Even when they struggled, even when they got down earlier in the year, when they were floating around 500, they were finding ways to kind of dig some of these games out by coming from behind. And so now being able to see them be on the roll and still be able to do that is very encouraging. And it has to be, for fans, it has to be great. Because now, don't leave. Never leave. Don't leave until the final out is made, because you never know what could happen. And last night was a huge case of you never know what could happen, so you got to stick around.
And last night, Rachel and I went to our favorite little, it's like a half Mexican, half Mediterranean restaurant. And so I love Mediterranean food and I love Mexican food. So last night on Taco Tuesday, this was like the greatest thing that anybody could have ever done for me. You ready for this? Grilled fish tacos on Taco Tuesday with a Greek salad. Phenomenal. Seriously, these 2 beautiful grilled fish tacos and then this incredible Greek salad. And I was sitting there and I had the Padre game on and I had the Dodger game on. And it was interesting because the woman who owns this restaurant, she told me that her daughter works for the Dodgers now. That's why they had the Dodger game on. Their daughter works for the Dodgers. She got an MBA and now she works in the, I don't know, ticket sales, or I don't know what she does. And so the father, I guess, said to the daughter, now that you work for the Dodgers, are you rooting for the Dodgers? And the kid said, no, Dad, I'm still a Padres fan, but I work for the Dodgers. So now the mom and dad at their restaurant at night, they got the Dodger game on, they got the Padre game on. And just when you think like the Padres, you said it, Browner, they're clutch, right? In fact, Alex, you could kind of show everybody some numbers here to prove that, that's a good word, clutch. These guys have come up so big this year, especially in comebacks. Go ahead, Alex, run us through these numbers.
In late close games, and if you want the actual definition of a late or close game, it's a plate appearance in the 7th inning or later when the batting team is tied ahead by 1 run or has the potential to tie the game. So in the clutch moments, the Padres have the best batting average at 299. They have the 8th most home runs at 14, the 3rd most RBIs, the 2nd highest OPS. They have 32 come from behind victories, which I thought would be first, but it's actually 3rd. But they have 5 ninth inning comeback victories, which is 2nd most in baseball as well. Want to know what the problem is?
Tell me.
The Dodgers and Diamondbacks are also, pretty much right there.
Okay, now I'm gonna call a quick timeout. So for everybody that's on our live YouTube chat right now that gives us instant feedback, when you go on a Padre rant about how great the Padres have been playing, and then you transition into the problem, which is that the Dodgers keep winning and the Diamondbacks keep winning, so you can't gain ground. That's the amazing part of all of this. Don't everybody get all butthurt, and don't everybody get all your panties in a wad. Okay.
Yeah, well, what's fascinating though is that you can't gain ground in your division, but what you are doing is creating a gap in the wild card. So you're almost essentially not guaranteeing yourself a wild card spot, but you're making it a lot easier on yourself where you don't have to win 800 baseball, play 800 baseball to be in the postseason. That's all that really matters. Give yourself a chance, get in the postseason. Obviously, we're thinking bigger. We're thinking division. We're thinking top wild card seed. We're thinking all these other things. I'd rather host a series than be on the road for a series. But what they are doing, Scott, is creating a very large gap in the wild card. All 3 of these teams.
Get in. And right now, with these wins, yes, you're chasing the division, but you're ensuring that you get in. And that is the most vital thing of all of this. Winning the division is cool. That's great. Get in. And that's what they're doing with these wins by stacking these wins against playoff teams. You're no longer beating up the basement. You're beating teams that are in the upper echelon of the sport. And so for the Padres, this has to be a confidence builder. When you can go out and get the team starters, or you can go out and get the team's bullpens, and they can't get to yours. And against teams you're gonna see down the road, that's got to be a confidence builder.
But I got to say, this is why I'm having so much fun watching all of this, is because while I'm watching the Padres, and they were down 5-3 in the 8th inning, and I said to Rachel, I go, this is not insurmountable. I'm not joking.
Right.
Like a year ago, a 2-run lead, or in this case, a 2-run deficit. A year ago, it's over.
It's over.
You have no chance of coming
by the way,
back.
You got that in the first inning.
Yeah.
So
I remember, And I remember making the unclutch graphics and how terrible they were with runners in scoring position, how terrible they were in extra innings, how terrible they were in 1-run games. I just looked it up a year ago, August 21st, 2023, the title of our show, What is Up with the Padres? I go onto the description. The Padres have a brand new looking roster after all the trade deadlines, and they look exactly the same. Josh Hader looks totally lost. Their record as of this day, 1 year ago, 60-66.
Tony Reyes said something in the chat. Shout out to the challenge. Remember when the game went into extra innings last year? It was over. We were losing.
Right.
We were finding a way to lose.
But that's what I was saying yesterday. So we're sitting there at dinner and we're watching this game, and the Padres are down. It was 5-3. And I said to Rachel, I go, that is not an insurmountable deficit any longer. And don't give up. They're going to be back. They're going to wind up winning this game. That's how clutch they've become. And that's how somebody like me went from hating this team last year, hating the attitudes, hating the selfishness, hating everything about no heart whatsoever, to absolutely loving this team this year. But I know it's going to piss a lot of people off when I tell you, as great as the Padres are, the Dodgers they're just unstoppable. We'll get there next.
Transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado. It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments.
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center, here in Salt Lake City, Utah, folks. What a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Harry on the target. Right hand from my Perry, double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds remaining.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
Yo, everybody. Hey, what's happening? This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Men, and we are in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. Hey, this segment of Kaplan and Crew is being presented by our great friends at Blenders Eyewear, blenderseyewear.com. Now, yesterday, I had to text Chase Fisher, the founder of Blenders Eyewear, who, by the way, I was looking at the website, blenderseyewear.com. It looks like Chase has been in Boulder with Coach Prime. There's this old lady that has been going to like Colorado Buffaloes football games, no matter what the record is, no matter if they're good or bad, no matter how cold it is, it's snowing or whatever. And this lady's been going to Colorado Buffalo games for like the last 70 years. And Chase and Coach Prime were visiting with her, and they gave her like this sleeve to put your glasses in. And they've got a promotion going right now where like for every time somebody buys one of these sleeves, you get they give $1 for every sleeve. So Alex, read it because I can't. It's the Peggy sleeve, they call it. She's 99 years old. Yeah.
$1 of every sleeve sold goes to Peggy Copham, the 99-year-old Colorado Buff superfan, marking her as the first fan ever to receive an NIL brand deal.
I love it. They're paying her $1 per sleeve sold. That's awesome. You get 20% off when you use our code Kaplan. Now, by the way, I had to call Chase yesterday, and like I said, I thought he was busy because he might have been with Coach Prime and this 99-year-old lady, because my boy Fat Tony, and I'm going to say this to you, Fat Tony, to me, I admit it when I'm wrong. I believe that you got that tattoo, but I think that there's user error somewhere along the line. So I had to yesterday talk to Chase on behalf of Fat Tony to get him his $2,000 worth of blenders. And even Grande's BFF, his name is Alex Melendez.
Yeah.
And so even he got his tattoo.
I also think user error. I think you were supposed to email them, and he's just been DMing them on Instagram.
Oh.
So he finally emailed them. I don't know when, and he showed me a screenshot that says, "We're going to get back to you as soon as possible."
This is from your boy Alex.
Yeah.
Okay. You have that picture of Fat Tony and Tommy Tommy. They both had gotten their blenders tattoos. Tommy got his $2,000 worth of blenders like that, snap of a finger. Fat Tony, you and me and our bandwidth problems, that's what's killing us, man. All right.
Also, they get it on the right arm? I thought it was the right arm.
I don't know. Did they get it on the wrong arm?
They got it on the wrong arm, dude.
Hey, if you put that picture up one more time, though, you see that Tommy is wearing a Kaplan and Crew shirt. Tommy was representing Kaplan and Crew. He had his entire bowling team wearing Kaplan and Crew merch. So that merch is available for you. It's in our store at kaplanandcrew.com. But just looking at that shirt reminded me of something I wanted to get to before we get back to baseball. We have an all-out Kaplan and Crew APB for the dude from 2 nights ago that was wearing the Spanos Hater t-shirt at the Padre game. We brought it up on the air yesterday. We put it on SportsGrid TV. We put it on Sirius XM channel 159. Hold that picture right there. We put it on Twitter. We put it on Instagram. We're putting it on Facebook. We are trying to find that dude. That guy right there who opened up his Padre jersey when he was on the Jumbotron and he was wearing that T-shirt that says the Spanos Hater Club. Now, just real quick,
Anus
just so you
Hater
guys.
Club?
Well, so my girlfriend, I show her this picture last night. I show her
Yeah.
this picture. I go, check out this picture. She looks at it, and she's like this with her phone. She's like this. She's like, she's like pulling her phone closer, pulling her phone further apart. She can't see what it says. She goes, the Anus Water Club?
Mm-hmm.
What?
I said, the what? She said, yeah, the Anus Water Club. I said, what's the Anus Water Club? And then she goes, well, that's what the shirt says, right? You're showing me this guy with this shirt that says the Anus Water Club. I go, no, it doesn't say the Anus Water Club. It says the Spanos Hater Club. But honestly, the guy's blenders are blocking the S and the P, and it does kind of look like the Anus Water Club. It's just that we're trained eyes. We know what we were looking for.
I made the damn
Okay.
shirt. I know what it says.
You didn't write a shirt that says Anus Water Club, did you?
Maybe. Maybe I forgot
Obstructive
to
view.
tell you guys.
Maybe you did.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody want an Anus Water Club shirt? Should we make those?
I'm down.
Should we make Anus Water Club shirts? Is that something that should come out next? Oh my goodness. All right. Well, anyway, blenders, you get your 20% off when you use our code Kaplan. And hey, listen, back to baseball for a second. So look, the Padres have been on fire. After the All-Star break, what's their record? Like 23-6, something crazy like that, right? They've got the best record in baseball after the All-Star break. The best record in baseball. The only issue is, and I say issue, Browner, you've been saying it all along, just get in. I'm with you. I got it. The only issue is that as hot as the Padres have been, as great as they've been, as much as we've wanted them to go on a run like this, where you won 23 of 30 games, not win 2, lose 2, win 1, lose 2, win 2, lose 1, drop a series, win a series. We've been asking them for a run of this magnitude. 23-6 is unofficially the number since the All-Star break. We can actually fact check. But we've been waiting for a run like this. Little did we know that a run like this by the Padres would be essentially equaled by Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And the same goes for the Dodgers. I mean, for all the talk about all the injuries to the Dodgers, they get a guy to come back like Max Muncy 2 nights ago. Now Mookie Betts is back. Freddie Freeman is back. You're seeing a guy like Jason Hayward come up huge last night. And by the way, the Dodgers protected Walker Buehler because he wasn't good at all, but he didn't get shelled to where he gave up like 10 runs. And they're like, hey, protect the bullpen, just leave him out there. I mean, he gave up 3 runs.
Yeah.
So even though Walker Buehler wasn't good, his teammates covered for him. And while the Padres have been ridiculous, the Dodgers have been just as good.
Yeah, Dodgers got a little bit of a USC under Lincoln Riley vibes to them. What do I mean? You're going to just have to outscore them because the pitching is not great. Defense isn't great, but their lineup is pretty ridiculous. I mean, if Ohtani has a down night, oh, here comes Mookie Betts. If Mookie has a down night, oh, here comes Freddie Freeman, and on and on and on. Freaking Jason Hayward hitting 3-run home runs late in the game. So I just think that the Dodgers, they know they're not going to shut most teams down, but they can probably outscore most teams, which is what they've done all year.
I can't sit here and proclaim them to be hot or on fire of some sort, because when they started the season, that's what them playing at their best looks like. Now they're 2 games ahead of the Padres, who was double-digit games behind. So
3,
this
right?
idea that they're playing well just doesn't compute with the numbers, brother. Sorry to rebuff that.
No, but it does actually. Here,
they're 19-11 since the All-Star break.
Right. So they're not as hot as the Padres, but they also had that built-in lead. All right, we'll come right back to it. Stick around. This is Kaplan and Crew. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios.
Hello everybody from Arlo White in the Live Broadcast Studio, and welcome to highlights of another excellent day's golf on Super Saturday in Greenbrier. Now, Live Golf history was made by this man, the high flyers Brendan Steele. This is his second shot at the par 5 17th. In it goes, the first albatross in league history, and it's Brendan Steele who is all smiles. Cam Smith teed off at 18 today. He made a par there, then proceeded to card a 27 over the front 9 holes to briefly take the lead. This was his third at 12. An eagle for Cam there, but he was overall level par through his last 8 holes and his 3 off the lead. Brooks Koepka is seeking a 5th LIV Golf title. No other man has more than 3. A pair of 64s for Brooks. He's 12 under par. That was his birdie putt at 18. But today was all about Jon Rahm, who is hunting a 2nd straight win in the LIV Golf League after his first victory at the JCB in the UK, and he's also hunting down Wako Niemann for the overall title of LIV Golf League champion for 2024. A remarkable round of 62 today for Jon Rahm. That was his 2nd into 17. This is his tee shot at 18. And you wouldn't bet against Jon Rahm going back-to-back and taking a lead into the final regular season event in Chicago in 3 weeks' time, seeking a first prize of $18 million. And he rounded things off superbly with a birdie putt at the first, an 8 under par 62 today. Jon Rahm will take a 2-stroke lead into Championship Sunday. Ripper lead the team comp by 1.
Right, great friends. Hey, we got a great show coming up for you today. It's Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, and coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to talk about the Raiders. We're going to talk about the AFC West, and JT the Brick from the Raiders Radio Network is going to be here. One of my favorite things that JT does on Twitter is called Backyard Brick. And it used to just be when JT was sitting in his backyard showing off that really great pool that he's got in Vegas, maybe drinking a Modelo or a Coors Light or whatever else he might be drinking. But instead now, Backyard Brick, I mean, he could be walking out of Allegiant Stadium doing some post-game thoughts, and that's Backyard Brick. It's one of my favorite things that he does. And JT will be here coming up in just a little bit. We're going to talk Chargers. We're going to talk Raiders. We're going to talk Chiefs. We'll even get some opinions on the Broncos, the entire AFC West, with JT the Brick from the Raiders Radio Network. We're going to talk about Gardner Minshew. By the way, I saw JT say it the other day when he was broadcasting on air in Vegas. He's got Gardner Minshew's back. He believes in Minshew. So do I. I know I'm going to be in the minority, okay? I think Gardner Minshew is going to be what the Raiders need. Yes, they don't have what you call a franchise quarterback. Yeah, they don't have a $50 million a year quarterback. But guess what? The New York Giants do, and that guy sucks. So we're going to get to JT the Brick, and we're going to start talking some NFL coming up in just a few minutes. So as far as the Dodgers, though, Browner, look, they're not coming out of the All-Star break as hot as the Padres are. That's true. I mean, Alex, you said that the Dodgers were 19-11 out of the All-Star break?
Yes.
And the Padres, again, I think I said unofficially
22-6.
22-6. Okay. So, yeah, the Padres have 3 more wins than the Dodgers do coming out of the All-Star break. Remember, both teams lost 6 of 7 games going into the All-Star break. But the Dodgers had that big lead. But they've been hanging on while they're trying to get their team right. They're trying to get their players back. And now that they've got them back, Buehler hasn't shown us anything yet. Kershaw's improved. Yamamoto's not back. Glasnow's out. But you get a Jason Hayward last night that comes up clutch, and he hits a 3-run home run. Just as much as the Padres have something magical going on right now, I think the Padres and the Diamondbacks pushing the Dodgers are what's creating their own version of their own magic in LA. So, Browner, you are poo-pooing the Dodgers. You're I love what you're doing. You act like the Dodgers aren't the better team. They've got the best record in baseball.
Bruh, we know what created this magic.
Which is
damn near $1 billion payroll.
Don't do that. But don't do that. The Padres got a $200 million payroll too. I just said it to Tony Reyes in our live YouTube chat. The Padres are finally playing to the potential of their payroll.
How much money did the Dodgers spend this offseason?
Yeah, crazy money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
they're doing what they're supposed to.
Yeah,
both
but
teams are doing
both
teams are doing what they're supposed to be doing
based on their payroll.
The Padres have a collection of players that are highly paid, that are all-stars, similar to what the Dodgers have. The difference between the two is that the Dodgers have an exorbitant amount of more money to pay guys. They signed the two highest paid players this offseason, one being a pitcher and obviously one being Ohtani, to gigantic deals. No, the Yankees can't even do that anymore.
Yeah, they could.
So this idea that they fought their way to do. No, they bought their way to this position.
I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that.
They got hurt.
Hey, keep trying to sell that. You ain't selling that to me.
Healthy.
You ain't selling that to me.
Listen.
The days. Let me tell you something. The days of Padre fans telling me that the Dodgers buy their championships, which by the way they don't because they haven't achieved a lot of championships. The days of Padre fans telling me that the Dodgers are buying it and the Padres can never do that. Those days are gone. When you have three guys on the team, all with these $100+, $200+ million contracts, forget it, man. I'm not buying that. No chance, man. You can't sell that to me.
And if you're the Dodgers, you have double what the other guy has. So if
what is double?
They got 7.
Well, who are the 7? They got Ohtani. Will Smith
Mookie
isn't.
Betts.
Okay, Mookie.
Freeman.
Okay, that's 3.
Kershaw's making what, $40 million a year?
I don't think so. Go ahead and do the research. I don't think so, but go ahead. Keep going.
Yamamoto.
Okay. Yeah, but I would combat that with Manny and Xander and Tatis, who you're not getting anything out of.
That's it.
And Yu Darvish, who's making big money, $20+ million. I mean, you're making it seem like the Padres didn't spend money. The Padres did. And now the Padres are playing to their payroll potential.
Which one of these teams spent $700 million on a player?
We know the answer to that question.
Correct. So they're not the same. Yes, the Padres spent top 10 money in the league. The Padres are spending what is now required to be competitive
in this division.
Correct. In the division, they're paying what it costs to be competitive. Now, if they were in the NL Central, this would be a totally different conversation. That would be the Dodgers, but you're not. Like, don't forget, the Giants can even get people to take their money.
All right, well, let's keep it rolling. We'll turn our attentions from baseball to the AFC West and football. We'll focus in on the Raiders. JT the Brick joins us next.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingstrom to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingstrom, he'll feel like this is a moment, a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away for a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
Play. That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton, who's here on debut, who watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on cue.
He doesn't just get 2, he gets the lot.
Adam should take out the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
Shot on the 5th leg.
Can Paxton deliver one of the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match.
14.
Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the jockey with confidence, with time, and delivers. Adam Paxton on debut. The boy, the fanboy, comes to the Super Series and wins.
Friends, this is Kaplan and Crew. It is Wednesday. We got Grande, we got the Brown Man. We're in the 7 Mile Casino studios, and here comes JT the Brick live in Las Vegas to talk about his Raiders. We're going to talk about the Chargers. I'm sure we'll get to the Chiefs. We'll talk about the entire AFC West. JT the Brick live in Vegas, back on Kaplan and Crew. JT, how we doing, man?
Cap, the Crew, one of my favorite shows, as you know. Great to be here. Congratulations on your SportsGrid move, YouTube, all of your platforms, everything you're doing. You guys are on fire.
Well, we're just trying to keep up with the Padres. I don't know about you, dude. You tell me. I know you got a lot of hockey stuff going in Vegas. You're all Raiders right now. Are you following the craziness of the NL West?
Yeah, I am. I've been following it for a while here. Let me center myself so I get you guys there. There you go. I've been following it a lot. First off, I'm a diehard Yankee fan and love the Yankees, so I follow the American League more. And we've been saying this since the Padres have spent all of this money over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. They've been feasting on the revenue at Petco Park. They've been going all in, even going after Bryce Harper, not getting him, Machado, Tatis, all of that. So they've been in the hunt to do something great, and they've come up short. But what I love about the NL West the most is I think the Dodgers have a lot of fraud in them. They should have been able to run away and hide. I heard Browner talking about $700 million for Ohtani. He's not as good as Judge. Let me get that in on this show. Okay, he doesn't pitch. When he does pitch, call me. Call me if he ever pitches again. As a hitter, he's not Judge. Best player in baseball with the Yankees. Look at Judge. But this Dodger team is under enormous pressure now because the Padres and Diamondbacks are coming. And I don't think the Dodgers play great baseball under extreme pressure. So with all that happening, this is a big moment for the Dodgers not to fold and for the Padres to track them down, because we know the Padres can beat them in a 5-game short series. But in a 7-game series with the payroll of the Dodgers and Ohtani and what they have with Mookie Betts coming back, I think they're close to unbeatable.
See, that was the opinion of Jeff Passan last week, who said that he thought the Dodgers would eventually pull away. JT the Brick is with us. But JT, while we appreciate some baseball commentary, what we called to talk about today was the Raiders. I saw a post you had on Twitter the other day where you were in your studio and you were saying you've got Gardner Minshew's back. I'm one of these guys that loves an underdog. To me, looking at a guy like Gardner Minshew, where he's come from, how he had to elevate through college football, not exactly a first-round draft choice, a guy who was kind of forced into playing early in his career, a guy who seems to always be somebody that his teammates rally around. What are you thinking about Gardner Minshew now, the starting quarterback of your Raiders?
Well, there's a lot going on there. First off, the Raiders weren't capable at 13 to go up and get Jaden Daniels, who they wanted. They weren't able to obviously get Caleb Williams, Drake May, and those guys. So the Raiders were in no man's land, and they didn't want Bo Nix, who now everybody's kissing his ass, and everybody who had one dinner with Sean Payton and sat near him at a Kenny Chesney concert thinks that Denver's going back to the Super Bowl. I deal with this crap every year. So with Gardner Minshew, we know what he is. He has better numbers or identical numbers of Trevor Lawrence, who got $250 million, over $225 million. Gardner Minshew has better numbers than Rich Gannon had before Gannon came to the Raiders and was younger than when Gannon came to the Raiders. So I can move all these numbers around and tell you what Minshew can do. But here's what he can do. He's a pro quarterback who's played at a high level on several different teams. He's always been a backup because the quarterback on those teams were always bigger than him or better than him and making more money. But then he'd come in for those guys and sometimes out. So he can make every throw. The reason the Raiders made this move, guys, was simple. The opening schedule. Aiden O'Connell didn't play well in Costa Mesa. Either did Gardner. Gardner didn't play great in the preseason. Either did Aiden O'Connell. But the Raiders open up against Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa on the road. Then they go to Baltimore, who'll be coming off 9 days rest. They got to play 2 road games. Then they play Myles Garrett coming up at Cleveland, one of the best edge rushers, if not the best. They have Carolina sandwiched in there. Antonio Pierce made the move specifically because he thought that Minshew could get him off to a good start or a decent start. Because if Aiden O'Connell or Minshew gets him off to an 0-4 or 1-3 start, it's going to be hard to turn it around. So I back Minshew. He's more mobile. He can make more plays outside the pocket. And he has more experience than Aiden O'Connell. And that might save the Raiders season. Save it. Because if the Raiders can get through the first quarter of the season, not hammered down, they're going to have a shot to pick up wins later in the year.
JT the Brick is here.
JT, I got to ask you, it's going to sound silly, but I got to ask you a real question. That the Raiders aren't going to win this division. The Raiders probably not making the playoffs with these two under center. But is that okay as long as this team is fun and competitive for Mark Davis?
Oh, no, not at all. You know that.
No?
I mean, you know that.
I
No,
mean,
not
I
at
just-
all.
I
I mean,
just get that, like,
not
then
at all.
why-
How could you say that about, first off, how could you say that a team built over the decades in their 65th anniversary with 3 Super Bowls, 5 Super Bowl appearances, played in the greatest games of all time, have most of the Hall of Famers, all that, would be happy with 8 or 9 wins? No, they want to win the Super Bowl. Are they going to win the Super Bowl this year? Probably not. Can they win the division? Well, they're the last team to beat Kansas City, and they hammered the crap out of them on Christmas Day and got better than that team. So it's a fair question. I think your question is, what is satisfactory for the Raiders? And I'll tell you what's satisfactory. Hosting a home playoff game or making the playoffs. They've already done that with Derek Carr. Derek Carr never won a playoff game. As I explained, they can't find themselves a way to get an elite quarterback. It could be Dak Prescott next year if Jerry doesn't pay him, whatever. But the question is, this is the Raiders 5 years into Las Vegas. They went from 31st in revenue to top 5. They're the 9th most expensive team now, over $6.7 billion in the entire league. Think of what's happened since I've come on with you. I've been coming on with you for decades, since they moved to Vegas. Money through the roof, stadium, best in sports. All of this stuff is happening, but they get judged by wins and losses. So Max Crosby, Devontae Adams, Mark Davis, JT the Brick, everybody wants to win, and I think the Raiders are going in that direction. But God, guys, they're in a quandary. They can't find their way to an elite quarterback. And in the division, they got Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. Both those guys are elite.
You know, that's a really interesting point. Wow.
When you're watching this organization continue to try to find that quarterback, what a part of this process are they getting wrong? Because again, what Gardner Minshew can do is be effective, but he's not the traditional franchise looking guy. What is the misstep that the organization is making you believe that they keep missing the mark on that position?
Well, that's a great question, because I don't think they're making a lot of mistakes. They're in
these great questions.
Well, look, let's think about this.
guy.
They had Derek Carr. They had Derek Carr for 9 years. I'll throw it back to you, Browner. Do you think you can win with Derek Carr over those 9 years? I say yes. 1 year he was almost an MVP. Yeah, Carr's okay. So they got to the end of the Carr trail and they said, look, we can't win with this guy. We can't win at that next level. That's a debatable topic. You can still win with Derek Carr. So they brought in Josh McDaniels. Only 6 Super Bowls. The only man ever to call 6 Super Bowls. And they thought they wanted to go down the Patriot way. Good decision initially. It flamed out. It didn't work. What was his big move? Well, we're finding out that he might have vetoed C.J. Stroud. Okay, the Raiders could have got C.J. Stroud in a massive move-up trade. They went with Jimmy Garoppolo, who won 4 playoff games, won an NFC championship, and went to the Super Bowl. The Jimmy Garoppolo move put him back. So the question you ask is very fair. The only way they can fix this is by trading up, which would be giving up 3 first-round picks. They couldn't even get 3 first-round picks for Jaden Daniels. They would have been turned down. So what they're going to have to do in the future, if Minshew doesn't work out or Aiden O'Connell, they have to go all in, massive draft equity, and go get Dak Prescott in pure free agency, trade for a quarterback, or draft a quarterback. And let's assume they draft one, and they move up to number 3 in the draft, and they have the 12th pick. They're going to give up 3 first-round picks and get a kid who never played in the NFL, and that's going to take 2 or 3 years to develop.
Right.
Raiders want to win now with Max Crosby and Devontae Adams. The only way they're going to do that is if Minshew or a quarterback that comes in there plays above their ability. Case in point, Rich Gannon and the story of Jim Plunkett, who both came to the Raiders looking like they were done and led the Raiders to Super Bowls.
All right, JT, hold that thought for 1 second. We're talking to JT the Brick about what's going on with the Raiders, and Gardner Minshew is their starting quarterback. More with JT the Brick on the AFC West next on Kaplan and Crew.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. the New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
One change in the legislature in Missouri is that this guy who's just totally against sports betting there is not going away.
This has been in progress since last fall. They got 300 and some thousand signatures. All they needed was 170, but those were all certified by local election boards. That had to be done by earlier this month. By tomorrow, the Secretary of State has to verify all those signatures.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Start Gardner Minshew. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. This segment being brought to us by our great friends at Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty Services. My man, Gary Cooper. 858-376-1299. 858-376-1299. You're looking to buy, sell, or maybe even get a home equity line of credit. Gary can help you with the transactions. And as I always say, never make a move in real estate without first talking to Gary Cooper. And by the way, if you're not in Southern California or you're not moving into Southern California, but you're in Las Vegas like JT the Brick, or you're in Philadelphia like the little dude who's tuning in, or you're like my man Mason who's up in LA who's tuning in. Listen, it doesn't matter where you are in the country. Gary Cooper can help you. He can be that consultant for you. He can make connections for you wherever you are. Talk to him. 858-376-1299. Gary Cooper, Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty Services. All right, Grande Brown Man, we got JT here with us.
Yep.
JT, you brought up a really interesting point in the last segment, which was the Raiders have not yet won, and that's what they're judged on. But just like the Rams, who moved from St. Louis, and they were like the 28th most valuable team in the NFL, the Rams are now the number 2 most valuable team in the NFL. The Raiders went from Oakland in that crappy stadium to Vegas, and they're top 5 now when it comes to their team's value of over $6 billion. The Chargers, ironically, moved from San Diego to LA, and back in San Diego, they were like 18th most valuable, and they've moved up a little bit, but they haven't done what the Rams or the Raiders have done, and yet they're judged the same way as well, based on wins and losses, and they don't seem to ever win with an elite quarterback, and I want to get your opinion on what you think the Chargers will be now under Jim Harbaugh.
Well, they should be better, but I think their roster isn't great right now. So, again, there's a lot of people. I follow this nationally and locally, and I think I specialize in the AFC West watching these teams. And Denver and the Chargers are identical. They're underachievers. The Raiders have beat Denver 8 in a row. That's impossible to do in football. They have. And the Chargers, the Raiders split with pretty much every year. The 2 most dramatic losses maybe in Charger history or top 10 happened when the Raiders knocked them out of the playoffs in one of the greatest games, last game of the season. And the Raiders put up 63 on their ass the last time they played. Not in the 80s or 90s. The last time they played, they put up 63, and the coach and GM got fired. We brought in the GM, Tom Telesco. So the Chargers are going to be better because Harbaugh is a hell of a coach. Hell of a coach. But he's kind of got a college football staff with him. Last I looked, he doesn't have Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, some of the good players. You know, Bosa's always hurt when he plays the Raiders. Khalil Mack, one of my favorite human beings of all time, is getting older. So the Chargers, if they draft well, and I love what they're doing on their O-line, are going to get better. And Harbaugh's a good football coach. But for those who think Harbaugh is going to bring him 6 or 7 more wins this year, I think they're delusional. So Raiders and Chargers have this really cool historic rival where the Chargers have won crap in their entire existence. And the Raiders have this iconic brand and shield and logo, and in Vegas now. But Cap, think about this. if Jerry Jones didn't come to the rescue and bring Stan Kroenke to L.A., the Chargers and the Raiders would have split Carson, California. That would have been the home of the Raiders and the Chargers if Jerry didn't call timeout in the owners' meeting and say, no, 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 everybody leave the room. We're going to come in and give Kroenke L.A. because he could pay cash and build the stadium. Chargers, you're going to stay in the deal. Raiders, you're going to come in third place and go back to Oakland. If that didn't happen and Mark Davis didn't go back to Oakland and regroup, there's no Vegas. Yep. And the owners now love Mark because Mark delivered Vegas to every owner who's getting a piece of the Vegas desert paradise in the NFL. So it's been a remarkable 4 or 5 years, hasn't it?
It sure has. It really has. And, Browner is one of those people that's delusional, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah. Yes. I'm a Harbaugh delusionalist. What I can tell you about Jim, what I can tell
the guy who got kicked out of Michigan, the guy who wouldn't be allowed to coach in college if he wanted to go back, the guy who would literally couldn't get a credential to get into the big house this year if he wanted to go. The NCAA won't even let him back in the big house. Please, I want to hear this, Browner.
What I can tell you about Jim Harbaugh from a track record perspective, he lands, they win. He wears out his welcome. He bounces. At every place he's been, he's won or gotten his team to the championship. I see no different happening with what's going to happen with the Chargers. I think for the first time, the Spanos family, they're out of the way. And they only got out of the way for him. Because, again, Bill Belichick was out there. Mike Vrabel was out there. Guys who they could, not Bill Belichick, but guys who they could have manipulated in that position. They could have underpaid some nobody out of the cleaning room to come be head coach like they've done the previous couple of times. But they went big business. They went big finally. So now I think they're out of the way. And my guy who can't go back to Michigan don't need you to, baby, because LA is home now.
And here's why you're a little bit delusional, and it's not your fault. You're very good at what you do. You don't mention anything about the roster. You don't mention any of the players. You do what they're doing in Denver with Sean Payton. Oh, we got Sean Payton. We're going to win. What? You don't have Jerry Jeudy. You ran Russell Wilson out of town. How are you going to win? We got Harbaugh. Okay, how are you going to win? Who are your players, receivers? You all become delusional because you think the guy with the hat and the headset is going to win games.
No. I ain't going to let you do that, JT. I'm going to tell you this right now. We got Justin Herbert. Similar in a way that Andy Reid has Patrick Mahomes. I said it, and I said it out loud. So write this down for those who don't know. Jim Harbaugh turned Colin Kaepernick into a megastar. Turned J.J. McCarthy into a top 10 quarterback draft pick. What is he going to do when you put Justin Herbert in his hands, a already top 5 guy? We're going to the moon, baby. We're going to the moon.
I agree. I've always said, and Raider fans come after me hard. Raider fans come after me hard when I praise Herbert. I've seen him make throws, and I saw Elway live, Montana live, Marino live. I've seen Herbert make throws. I repeat, I've never seen before, and I've seen them all. I've seen him make throws in front of me in the lower bowl that got to the back of the end zone where guys a foot away from receivers couldn't even get their hands up in time. But Herbert loses the last game of the year to the Raiders. Herbert, this, that. We'll see. I think Harbaugh, you asked me an initial question, will the Chargers be better? Absolutely. I don't think it's going to be year one, but Harbaugh, who started his coaching career, his first job ever with Al Davis with the Oakland Raiders, he's a hell of a coach.
JT the Brick, we will talk to you many times throughout this football season. Great appearance, man. Awesome. Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Appreciate y'all.
All right. JT the Brick. Make sure you're following him at JT the Brick on Twitter.
I love him.
So do I. I love him. It's like my fave. All right, stick around. Here comes our first shout-outs to all the great friends who are watching and listening next.
What has happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments.
Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Good left hand from Rockhold. Right hand right back from Mike Perry.
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City, Utah, folks. What a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Harry on the turnbuckle for the left-hander. Right hand from my Perry, double tap. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds remaining.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this thing all the way to the top now.
Today is Wednesday. Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. JT the Brick was just here going off on everything. I love it. I love hearing him go off about how the Raiders are going to be so much better this year, how the Chargers are still going to have their problems improved, but not going to be the Chiefs. Just a great football conversation with JT the Brick.
I love
I love
taking.
Browner. I ain't fitting to let you do that no here, JT.
I was gonna say that's my favorite when I get to take Andy on an interview because Browner's just going off. Like that's my best. That's just like, you know what? Go, dude. Do your thing, man. I ain't finna let you to the moon. Yeah, we going to the moon, JT. This guy dropped it to the moon, man.
Look, man, I love JT. Y'all know I love me some JT, bro. But I can't let you come in here and talk crazy like that. Feeling you, big fella.
Yeah. So JT the Brick, and he'll be on this Raider bandwagon all year long. Yeah, I was looking at the Raiders schedule and I was trying to figure it out. You know how like when you look at somebody's schedule, because yesterday I was looking at the Rams, and the Rams, it was CBSSports.com predicted that the Rams would have 12 wins. And I went and I looked at the Rams schedule and I was like, can I find 12 wins? And then I realized, you know what would be easier is could I find 6 losses? Because 6 losses would mean 11 wins, and that would be the less than or under. Shout out to my boy, Mason Alvis from ROI 360 Media. He's the guy that places all of our Prize Picks ad. He's watching right now, and he's trying to figure out, Grande, what you talked about the other day, which is this next hot dog eating championship that we should all be playing on. Anyway, when I looked at the Rams schedule, I went, oh, my God. First of all, the Rams, I don't know if you guys have taken a look. I'm sure both of you guys have looked at the Bears and the Vikings schedule, your teams.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. But I looked at the Rams schedule yesterday. The Rams home schedule is like ridiculous. So the Rams play like everybody you'd want to see. Here, listen. The Rams play at the Lions week 1. Is that a win for the Rams week 1 at the Lions? I don't think so either. Week 2, they're at the Cardinals. Is that a win?
Probably.
Yes.
Probably. Home week 3 against the 49ers. Is that a win?
Yeah. Is Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, and Brandon Ayuk playing?
Yeah, good questions. Week 4, the Rams are at the Bears. To me, that's a win, and I would have the Rams at 2-2 at that point.
I would say no.
Okay. You think the Rams are going to lose on the road at the Bears?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you see, that's the whole point, though, is that as I was looking at this schedule, they're home against the Packers. Okay. Then they have a bye. And by the way, I'm not sure they beat the Packers at home. Then they've got a bye. Then they host the Raiders. They host the Vikings. Those should be wins. They're on the road at Seattle.
Oh, hey,
could
King.
be a win. You want to hey King for the Vikings game?
Thursday, October 24th. I've never been inside SoFi. Time to go. Time to break
Let's plan on that. Let's plan on going to that.
He don't care who the quarterback is.
Let's plan on going to that game.
Yeah, listen. When the Vikings come to me, I go to them. I watch them lose. I go home.
Okay. Let me just look at my calendar here real quick. You say October 24th is a Thursday. I'll get you tickets, but I won't be there for that because I plan on going to Hawaii for the Ironman World Championship and doing broadcasts on Thursday and Friday from Hawaii for the Ironman.
Nice.
Browner, you're giving me that look, but it was 14 years ago that I did the Ironman in Hawaii. And my buddies, my 3 buddies who I did the Ironman with, they are all going back to do the Ironman, and I committed to them that I will be there for it.
So it's an Ironversary.
Correct. It's my 14-year ironversary. That's right.
Hmm.
But I will get you tickets for that.
By the way,
game.
USA Today has the LA Rams. You know, USA Today does their predictions for every team. They have the Rams going 10-7.
Yeah, like to me that seems more realistic because like just listen to this home schedule. For
They also have the Jets and the Packers in the Super Bowl. So
no, they do not.
Yes,
Stop it.
USA Today does not have the Jets and the Packers in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
They do?
They do.
You're kidding me. Yeah. Wow.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
They have the Jets going 12-5. They have the Packers going 13-4, with the Jets winning the Super Bowl.
If the Jets play the Packers in the Super Bowl and the Jets beat the Packers in the Super Bowl, I mean, I don't know what will happen in the city of Green Bay. Or let me rephrase that. In the tiny little town of Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Listen, I'm willing to just go on a limb here, and whether this is a hot take or not, that's not happening. I'm sorry, but that's not happening. No chance, man.
No, that doesn't sound realistic to me either.
Crazy to me.
Cray.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'd be super down. That sounds fun. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, and no, actually, that sounds terrible. Now that I think about
That sounds awful. That sounds
utterly
awful.
The
takes of Aaron Rodgers just talking.
The hot take machines. Oh man, in New Orleans,
Let's be great. Oh man, we're going to the Super Bowl this year in New Orleans, and normally we go to the Super Bowl. Last year we didn't go, but Alex, you did. You went to the Super Bowl. That's how you became best friends with like Burt Kreischer and Bobby Flay. But this year we're definitely going to the Super Bowl. It's in New Orleans. My daughter goes to school at Tulane. We got to go down there, and we got to enjoy the Super Bowl festivities.
Jets Packers Super Bowl.
Jets Packers would be awesome. No, that'd be great. I would love that. Browner wouldn't talk for 2 weeks.
No, take a knee on the show.
Yeah, really. All right, stick around. We got a lot to get to. This is Kaplan and Crew.
Hello everybody from Arlo White in the Live Broadcast Studio, and welcome to highlights of another excellent day's golf on Super Saturday in Greenbrier. Now, Live Golf history was made by this man, the high flyers Brendan Steele. This is his second shot at the par 5 17th. In it goes, the first albatross in league history, and it's Brendan Steele who is all smiles. Cam Smith teed off at 18 today. He made a par there, then proceeded to card a 27 over the front 9 holes to briefly take the lead. This was his third at 12. An eagle for Cam there, but he was overall level par through his last 8 holes and his 3 off the lead. Brooks Koepka is seeking a 5th Live Golf title. No other man has more than 3. A pair of 64s for Brooks. He's 12 under par. That was his birdie putt at 18. But today was all about Jon Rahm, who is hunting a second straight win in the Live Golf League after his first victory at the JCB in the UK, and he's also hunting down Waco Neiman for the overall title of Live Golf League champion for 2024. A remarkable round of 62 today for Jon Rahm. That was his second into 17. This is his tee shot at 18. And you wouldn't bet against Jon Rahm going back-to-back and taking a lead into the final regular season event in Chicago in 3 weeks' time, seeking a first prize of $18 million. And he rounded things off superbly with a birdie putt at the first, an 8 under par 62 today. Jon Rahm will take a 2-stroke lead into Championship Sunday. Ripper lead the team comp by 1.